Oh, here's a good one. Johnny Hyman.
How hard is it to pilot Canadarm2, and do you think something like it could be used to construct things on Mars? Well, we get some really good training, really cool training on flying the Canadarm, and when I talk to kids, I'm always telling them, we have some really neat kind of toys, video game-like facilities and simulators at the Space Center here that we use to train to fly the arm. The big dome that we have, where it's like this mock-up of the cupola, and you're in there with the robotic workstation, which is computers and hand controllers like you would use on your gaming stuff at home. And then above you is this dome, this video screen that looks like it would looking out the windows of the space station. And then we learn to fly those things, and it's a lot like flying the controllers on a video game. Yeah. However, you're considering some things like a big piece of hardware coming at your space station. And so
if you mess up, it's not put a quarter in the slot and hit reset or get a few more gain points.
But it's beautiful to look out the window now, to not just be looking at a video screen of what you're flying on the end of that arm, but to be able to look out the window and see it crystal clear out there and look for your clearances between things by just floating up and looking over versus having to have 3 computer screens to tell you whether you got space between the hardware that you're flying around.
And you caught the first HTV, didn't you?
I did. No pressure.
No pressure? I mean,
no pressure.
only the whole state of the Japanese space program was literally in your hands.
And it felt good to be able to do that, and it felt good to be done with it too. And what was wonderful about that was this spacecraft, really beautiful spacecraft, HTV, just the colors of it were so impressive to look at as it came towards station. But it operated as it was supposed to. So, we do all this training for stuff going out of control and how are you going to fly the arm to get that. And in your mind, you're thinking, okay, I have to be prepared to do that. And then this spacecraft comes up and places itself at 30 feet from your station and just stays there like it's waiting for you to grab it.
So you did not have to go into cowboy mode with
did not have to go cowboy on it, though we were ready to do that.
You were ready to go cowboy.
But it was beautiful. You're happy when it's over.
Now, I came back from my first flight after having flown the Canadarm a lot, and I actually went to Canada, to Montreal, to the space agency there, and was giving them a debrief about how the arm worked. And I made the analogy, I said, flying the Canadarm is like flying a fancy backhoe. And they didn't like that. I thought I was giving them a compliment because working a backhoe, if you're really good with a boom and a bucket, man, flying the Canadarm is right in there.
And I think it is a tool that or something like it, we will use on Mars to construct things.
Yeah, not this specific one because it needs to operate in a weightless environment.
But there'll be something like it, maybe more like your backhoe.
Andrew Parsons. Is it better now that there are less people on board, or is it harder work? I'm assuming Andrew means last night a Soyuz deorbiter came home with 3 of the crew members. So right now there's only 3 people on space station until the end of this week?
The 28th, I think.
Oh, the 28th. Okay. And then we'll launch a new Soyuz with 3 new crew members and bring the complement back to 6. So right now, for about a 2-week period in between crews, there's only 3 people on station. So what do you think they're doing right now?
I think they're wrapping up from the work they did to send their 3 crewmates home, and they're getting ready for the next 3 guys to get there. And station is one of those places that I think, regardless of having 3 crew members or 6 crew members on board, there is a lot of work happening. Yeah. Either way.
Agreed.
And the ground does a really good job at managing that flow of work for the number of crew members that are on board. And so I know those 3 guys up there are busy at work, and they're doing everything from the science, that goes on every day, to maintaining the station, to getting ready for the next 3 folks to dock. And those kinds of things are going on all the time.
It's a hopping place.
It is.
Matt Milko, any good space pranks while you're up there? You have to be careful doing pranks when you're living off in the frontier like that. You don't just like shout fire because you think it's going to be fun to get everybody out of bed.
Yeah.
So you have to really be careful with what you do in terms of a prank. Even something as simple as like hiding somebody's spoon.
Oh yeah.
That's almost a hanging offense too. Even though you're in a place where you can't hang someone, right? But
You can pull them real hard.
yeah, you could stretch them out really
Yeah,
hard.
whatever that was,
But
yeah.
you don't mess with somebody's spoon. So you have to understand what the limits are with your crewmates.
But maybe it's not so much a prank, but the way you can interact with the ground is a lot of fun sometimes. And and in fact, I think it's fun all the time. Just the normal conversation that you have, and know that you're working with this ground team and stuff. But there's times like Halloween or Speak Like a Pirate Day.
Oh,
we had that. We had Mike Barrett on board, and you were required to start off with an ARG if you were going to want to get an answer from the crew
Okay.
that day. So Capcom had to modify their.
Yeah. Or you could choose some obscure word and try to work it into your comm with the
yes.
ground, like barbarigmas. and I had to work really hard to figure out how to get barbarigmas worked into comm with the ground. And I think what I did, and those are the funny noises that your belly makes when, after a good meal and you feel all these little rumbles in there. And so I think what I did was I was asked to go check out the water processing part of the urine collection system, and so I checked it out and came in and I said it was making barbarigmas sounds.
And they probably said, "Who's Barbara Igmas?"
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
New crew member.